What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Talkin Sports with Jake. Hope you're all doing well. We had a big trade. MLB, you had the Marlins and Twins make a deal. Marlins get the reigning American League batting champion Luis Arias in a deal. They sent Minnesota one of their best starting pitchers, Pablo Lopez. They also get two prospects. One of them was the number 5 prospect in Miami's system. I thought it was a pretty good trade probably for both sides. Marlins get a great hitter in Luis Arias, a guy that can hit over 300. He can play multiple positions. And Twins get another starting pitcher that they need. They also pick up a couple of prospects, one very good. So I thought a good trade for all sides. Miami definitely needed another hitter. And what I'm hearing, I think Arias is going to play second, and they're going to move Jazz Chisholm to center field. And you'll have probably Garrett Cooper at first, and then I'm thinking, Joey Wendell probably has a spot in there, and they'll probably figure out how to fill out. So it'll be interesting to see what Miami does defensively, because you got a lot of guys playing out of position now. Arias came up with second baseman, he's turned into a first base. Now he's moving back to seconds because they want to keep Garrett Cooper in the lineup. Jazz is, guy came up with shortstop. You move him to second because you have Miguel Rojas. Of course, they traded him to the Dodgers, and then you move him to center because you really don't have a true center fielder. So it'll be interesting. But Miami picks up Arias. Lopez goes to Minnesota. By the way, Mike Trout says he has no issues with his back, which has caused him to miss a lot of time the last couple of years entering camp. Hopefully his hands away. Of course, when he's healthy, he is the best player in baseball. One of the greatest center fielders to ever play the game. Apparently, the New York Yankees are looking at Jurickson Profar, looking to upgrade their at left field. Right now, the left fielders are going to be Oswaldo Cabrera, one of their top prospects, who played a little bit last year, or it's Aaron Hicks, who was terrible last year. So they're looking to upgrade that spot. Looking at Profar, who's not amazing, but he would be an upgrade. He's a solid. He's a solid presence. Seattle Mariners signed Tom Costello to a 1-year deal, more All-Star. He struggled a little bit last year. Giants cut him earlier in the offseason, but Mariners picked him up for some depth in their infield. We have some big news. The Arizona Diamondbacks have hired, I might pronounce her last name wrong, I apologize, Ronnie Gajanwick. She is the first ever female to manage high A ball in MLB history. The Yankees hired a female, I think her name is Rachel Bolvacek or something like that, to manage their low A affiliate, and now Arizona hires a female to manage their high A affiliate. So that's definitely a step in the right direction for women in sports. Congratulations to her, and good on the Arizona Diamondbacks. Moving on to hockey, your scores from last night: Devils over the Penguins 2-1 in overtime. Bruins over the Sharks 4-0. Kings over the Blackhawks 2-1. Jets over the Flyers 5-3. Coyotes over the Golden Knights 4-1. That is definitely an upset. Let's take a look at the standings in the NHL right now. Boston continues to lead the pack 37-5-4. They are just dominating right now. We've won 9 of 10, won 5 in a row. Carolina is in second with 66 points, but Boston's got 78. To put that in perspective, New Jersey has got 64. They're in third. They've got points in 9 of 10. Toronto also has 64, but the Devils got a game in hand, so Toronto's in fourth. Tampa's in fifth with 59. New York Rangers are in sixth with 57. Washington Caps have 56 points. They are in seventh, and Pittsburgh Penguins at 54. They are in eighth. You got Florida is 3 points out. The Islanders 3 points out. As a Ranger fan, I love seeing the Islanders lose. They have won just 2 of their last 10 games. They are falling apart. They need a new regime there. They need to make changes. Buffalo, you got Buffalo Sabres, who've a little better than expected still. I mean, they're about 5 points out of a spot. Then you got Philly, Detroit, Ottawa, Montreal, and Columbus. In the Western Conference, you got Dallas in first with 63. They are tied with Winnipeg right now, also with 63. You have Vegas with 60. They are in third. Seattle's in fourth with 59. It's very tight in the West, by the way. You got the Kings in fifth with 58. Edmonton in sixth with 57. Minnesota in seventh with 54. And Colorado in eighth with 53. And then Calgary also has 53, but Colorado's got 2 games in hand. The Nashville's 3 points out. And the Blues are 5 points out, followed by Vancouver, Arizona, Chicago, and Anaheim is now the worst team in the West. By the way, I'm sure everyone heard, the Vancouver Canucks have fired head coach Bruce Boudreau. They've replaced him with Rick Touchette, who's an experienced coach who they bring in. I don't have words to say how disgraceful Vancouver is right now. It was not on Boudreaux. They've been looking for a replacement for 2 weeks. They even came out and said it. That's classless and disgraceful. Boudreaux's a good coach, and he did him dirty. Unbelievable. You brought him in last year when you're one of the worst teams in the league, and you ended up like 4 points out of a spot. You keep him full time, and look like basically a couple months later, like, oh yeah, he sucks. Are you kidding me? Look at this team. The team sucks. No coach is making the playoffs with this team. Give me a break. That is disgraceful. Absolutely disgraceful. Terrible. Absolutely terrible. Vancouver is a complete dumpster fire. They need a new front office, and they got a double team. Moving on to college basketball. Had scores from yesterday as we still are a little while away from March Madness. Inching a little closer now. We're probably about a month and a half or so away. Number 1, Houston goes down. They lose to Temple, unranked Temple. 56-55. Temple's first win over a number 1 ranked team since 2000, 23 years ago. Number 3, Purdue over Maryland, 58-55. And number 15, UConn over Butler, 86-56. NBA action from last night. We're getting close to the All-Star break in NBA. Clippers over the Mavericks, 112-98. Kawhi, 30 points, 9 rebounds. Heat over the Pelicans, 196. They came from behind in that one. Tyler Hero, 26 points and 8 rebounds. Raptors over the Knicks, 125-116. Pascal Siakam, 24 points, 7 boards, 6 assists. We're going to continue to be up and down this year. Thunder over the Nuggets, 101-99. That's an upset. Denver's 9-game win streak is over. Shy, 34 points. Yeah, the game winner. Suns over the Grizzlies, 112-110. They almost blew a 30-point lead in that one. Chris Paul, 22 points, 11 assists. They need him. Devin Booker out. Nets over the Warriors, 120-116. Kyrie at 38 points, 7 boards, 9 assists. And Royce O'Neal with the game-winning 3 with about, I think it was like 27 seconds left. He had a big shot. And the Lakers over the Blazers, 121-112. Thomas Bryant, big game. 31 points, 14 rebounds. And Lakers have made a trade. They have traded for Rui Hachimura from the Wizards to add to their bench. We don't have the full terms yet. By tomorrow, we'll definitely have those. But Rui Hachimura is now a LA Laker. On to the standings. Celtics still in first in the East. 35-12. You got Philly, who's red hot right now. Won 8 of 10, and including their last 5. They're in second. By the way, Boston's for 1-9 in the row. So they're also on fire. Milwaukee's in third. You got Brooklyn in fourth. Cleveland in fifth. Miami in sixth. Knicks are slumping a bit. They've lost 4 in a row. They're on the first play-in spot. Game behind Miami for the 6th spot. Atlanta is in the 8th spot. Indiana is in 9th. And the Bulls are in 10th. And then you got Toronto's a game and a half out of the play-ins. As is Washington, followed by Orlando, then Charlotte, and Detroit. In the West, Denver is in first in the West right now. They've won 9 of 10. You got Memphis at second. Sacramento Kings in third. Who would have thought that? New Orleans Pelicans in fourth. Dallas is in fifth. Clippers are in sixth. Phoenix is the first playing team. A lot of injuries right now. You got Minnesota in eighth. Utah in ninth. And that last playing spot is Golden State Warriors, who are still trying to find themselves. Yeah, they're actually tied with OKC. OKC's playing well. They're tied with Golden State for the last playing spot right now, both for the same record. Lakers are also in a way game out of the play-ins, playing better. Now you pick up Hachimura. We'll see what happens. Portland's a game and a half out of the play-ins. They're really struggling. And then followed by the Spurs and then the Houston Rockets. All right, for the NFL, Divisional Round results. On Saturday, you had the Chiefs take care of the Jaguars, 27-20. Mahomes left that game briefly with a high ankle sprain, came back in the game. He said he's got a high ankle sprain, but he will play in the conference championship. Mahomes with one leg was still able to pull it off. Eagles demolished the Giants, 38-7. That was just embarrassing. Eagles move on. Giants did have a good year, definitely a step in the right direction. Brian Daboll did a good job. I didn't like some of his calls. He's down 7-0. In the first quarter. It's not even at midfield. It's 4th and 8, and you go for it. Look for Daniel Jones, so basically get sacked. You think you barely got it off. That's a terrible call. It's your defense has gotten stops all year. You're down 1 touchdown the first quarter, and you go for it. And then later in the game, he's down multiple scores. Fourth and a yard, and he doesn't go for it. That's just terrible. Daboll is probably the coach of the year. But he's got to be better than that in the postseason. That's not good. And the Bengals beat the Bills 27-10, just complete domination. Bengals move on to the conference championship for the second year in a row. Big game, Burrow. There's very few quarterbacks ever, honestly, I'd want in a big game besides Joe Burrow. The only big game he's ever lost was the Super Bowl last year, and if he had the offensive line, he would have won that game too. Let's talk about the Bills. This team has a lot more holes than you think. They need a true three-down back. They don't have one. Singletary is not a three-down back. James Cook, I'll take him as like a change of pace guy on third down, can catch the ball, not a three-down back. They need a three-down back. Whether that's drafting the top back at Texas, Bijan Robinson, maybe you sign one of these guys, Tony Pollard, someone like that. But the Bills need a three-down back. Allen can't do everything. And their defense needs to be better. They had a ton of injuries this year. Obviously, Von Miller, you lose Von Miller. Edmonds and Long about injuries. The secondary had a lot of guys out. Trey White missed a lot of time. Obviously, your safeties, Hyde, Poyer had injuries. Of course, you had the DeMar Hamlin incident, unfortunate DeMar Hamlin incident, and he actually did have a very good year in all seriousness. They had a ton of injuries, but still, they definitely need some more depth at the very least. And look at their weapons. Outside of Diggs and Dawson, I like Dawson Knox at tight end. Gabe Davis is pretty good. Obviously, Cole Beasley didn't bring in until very late. I'm not sure if he'll be back. Khalil Shakir's okay. They probably may need another receiver. And also, this offensive line really isn't that good. The center, Morris, is very, very good. He's one of the league's best centers. I love Deion Dawkins at left tackle. Outside of that, the O-line is very mediocre. So this team has a lot more holes than you think because of how good Josh Allen is, how good some of their guys on defense. Sean McDermott's a great coach. They're good enough, and although the division was very competitive, you had Miami barely made the playoffs, and New England also, was an 8-9 win, and then they had the Jets were below average. The rest of the division is good, but not great. So they're easily able to win 12-13 and, be a top two seed in AFC, but right now, they're going to have a tough time getting past the Chiefs and the Bengals. They got to shore up their holes. They got a big offseason ahead of them. In the NFC, and then, no, I said the other NFC again, my apologies. The Niners beat the Cowboys 19-12. Niners move on to the conference championship for the third time in the last 4 years. Cowboys, another early playoff exit for them. They just 4 playoff wins in the last 27 years. Dak was horrible. A couple of bad picks. What else is new? By the way, what the hell was that last play by Dallas? They had their offensive lineman at receiver. You had Zeke, your running back at center. You need 75 yards to throw a quick slant of 7 seconds, no timeouts, down touchdown. That was embarrassing. Dak is overrated as heck. You're not going to win a Super Bowl with him. You will not win a Super Bowl with Mike McCarthy as your head coach. Kellen Moore is an overrated offensive coordinator. This team is not good enough. They're good enough to make the playoffs, win 10, 11, maybe 12, make the playoffs, but they will never be out of the second round. They got to make changes. And, of course, Mike McCarthy's coming back. Nice job, Jerry. Nice job. Conference championship, AFC championship, rematch of last year, Chiefs, Bengals, Mahomes, Burrow. Going to be a great one. And then NFC, Eagles, Niners, top 2 teams in the NFC. Should be a good one. Remember, in college, Jalen Hurts and Brock Purdy played, and the game was 42-41 when Hurts was like Oklahoma and Brock Purdy was Ohio State. Both played very well. Purdy actually threw 5 touchdowns in that game. Could be a good one. Should be a very good one. Can't wait for this weekend. But just some coaching rumors. The Jets interviewed Browns receiver coach Charles Schaefer as the coordinator. I don't really like it. He's not good. He was offensive coordinator of Miami for like a couple of years ago. Wasn't very good. He's a good receivers coach, not a good offensive coordinator. Please don't hire him, Jets. If they screw up this offensive coordinator search, I'm going to be very, very angry. John Harbaugh says he plans to keep Lamar Jackson. He said 200% he will be back. We shall see what happens. I heard the Bengals are going to extend Joe Burrow. I don't know how much. He's going to get so much money. Oh, my God. I mean, if you look at it this way, Deshaun Watson, who's played 6 games in the last 2 years, was currently facing, at the time we thought, at least a year suspension, is obviously a horrible person. If he can get $230 million guaranteed, Burrow probably deserves $300 guaranteed. If Kyler Murray, who doesn't have a single playoff win, is extremely inconsistent, can get, $230 million. Burrow, again, should probably get about $300. like on paper, you're like, all right, maybe 5 for 275. Maybe give him 180, 190 guaranteed. That's honestly light. If Deshaun Watson is worth $230 million guaranteed, Burrow probably should get at least 250. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if he gets, some sort of ginormous 7-year, $300 million deal. He's going to get so much money. And the last thing before I close the show out, we got Ed Reed, of course, one of the greatest safeties of all time in NFL history. He was supposed to go to Bethune-Cookman to be, that's a college team, to coach. The head coach, he is not, because they did not finalize his contract. Supposedly he called out the school for things that they were doing wrong. Like the facilities were like really, really bad. They didn't treat the players right, and he used his own money to try to fix it up. Most HBCUs don't have a lot of money, so they're not in great condition. And the school didn't like that, so basically to protect their own ass, if you ask me, it's kind of what they did. They let him go. Ed Reed was obviously very upset about it. You saw his press conference. Deion Sanders zoomed in and gave him a little speech. But unfortunately, Ed Reed will not be going to Bethune-Cookman. All right, that's all I got for you guys today. Until next time, so long and have a great day.